Hello, everybody, and welcome to Homestead Where You Are. My name is Janet. Today, I'm going to try and get some of my fall crops started. Normally, I would do most of these in the ground, but as you guys know, I am in the process of trying to finish up some things in the garden. So, anyway, I'm going to do some starts. Plus, I have this tendency to put carrots and lettuce and all these types of things way too close together. So, I figure maybe if I start them in seed trays, maybe then when I transplant them, I can spread them out a little better. I am not going to start carrots in trays. Don't get me wrong, but I am going to do some lettuces and stuff like that. But anyway, I have. You watch a lot of videos telling you what you should use for your soil for when you start your seeds, and while that's all and good, most of that stuff is kind of expensive. But I'm just going to use what I have. So I'm going to show you what I'm doing. First off, I have this tote that I had converted to a brooder. So I have this mesh screen on the top that I had used for the chicks. And so I'm just going to use this to screen my soils that I'm going to use and get some of the big chunks out of it. And I am going to start with this good old cheap, what was on sale at Lowe's, garden potting soil. Let's see, this one is all-purpose garden soil. Well, we all know not a lot of nutrients and stuff in this, but I'm going to fix that. But anyway, I'm going to start with this and put a little bit on top. It's kind of chunky right now. And I'm just going to sift it through this screen. Got to kind of get it broke up a little bit first. It's been sitting out in the weather. And it's going to be a little bit time consuming, but that's okay. It's crazy how much of that garden soil is really just wood chips. And the other thing I'm using is this Home Depot steer manure blend. It is a blend of steer manure and compost. So I'm going to use some of that. This does not have near as many chunks as that garden soil. going to keep sifting through this, and I will bring you back when I'm done. Part of the reason for doing this is because having all of those wood chips, especially the big ones, can make it very difficult for those little tiny fragile seeds to push through and get going. So we're just trying to give them the best start possible. All right, let me bring you in and show you what this looks like. You can see it's nice and fine now. And part of the reason that I alternated back and forth between the compost manure blend and the garden soil was just to make it easier for mixing. But yeah, that looks pretty darn good. And this is the box that I sifted out, which you could use as mulch, but I myself, I prefer to use pine shavings as mulch. I don't know why, but I just always have. So I will put this in my compost pile so that it can break down, so it won't go to waste. All right, so now what I'm going to do, this is, let's see, Epsoma Garden Tone 344 organic fertilizer. I'm going to put this in here. Probably could use a little bit more, but that'll be fine for now. And then I have some worm castings. I'm going to put some of that in there. Remember, all this is going to end up going into the garden anyway when I transplant these. So, and then I'm going to mix that in. And ideally, I would love to put some vermiculite, or, you know what? I think my husband said we might have some. I should go look. Did you say we had some perlite or vermiculite or something like that? I thought you did.
No, we talked about it several times.
Okay, I was wrong. We don't have any, but that's okay. Like I said, I'm just using what I have. I'm not going to go buy anything else just to do this. Besides, most of the time, I don't even sift my soil, especially if I'm going to be doing tomatoes or squash or most of the summer type vegetables, because they seem to do just fine without doing this. But since this is going to be mostly, I'll be doing some cabbage and some lettuces and chards and some greens, things like that. I just wanted to give them the best chance possible. So that was why I sifted it this time. But anyway, I'm just going to use it like it is. All right. And these trays, actually, I got off of Amazon. And they have the dome that goes on them with the little vent thing, so you can control how much air gets in them. And I actually really like them. They were fairly cheap, considering when I look at some of the really nice ones that I would love to have. The price is just outrageous. So anyway, I'm all about saving money, and these work just fine. So this is what I use. This part sits down inside here, and then like I said, they have the dome on them too. Can't remember what I paid for them, but I'll try and remember to put a link down in the description so you can see. But yeah, I really like them. They work fine. So this will be my, I think, 3rd year using these. So anyway, I'm just going to put some of this soil in these. I'm just going to put soil in all of them. And then I'll do all my planting at the same time. All right, now I'm not going to press these down or anything. And you'll see why when I get ready to do my planting. For now, I'm just going to put the soil in them. And part of the reason why I'm just using these real small cells is because I'm going to try and get these going as quick as possible and then right into the garden. Now, I don't plan on them being in here long enough to need transplanting or anything. Just wanted to get them started because I'm not quite ready for them in the garden, but I am just about there. All right, that takes care of that part. And I'm going to go get my seeds and we'll get started on that part. All right, so now that I have some of my soil in my containers, I did go ahead and do a couple of these smaller ones, which are also came from Amazon and also have lids that go on them. I just don't usually use the lids because I'm putting them in my greenhouse. And I did want to show you these containers. I swear it seems like no matter where I go, I cannot escape the geese. Anyway, I did want to show you the lids for these that go on here. They also have the vent control here, one on each side. So anyway, these are by far my favorites, and I really do like them. So if you're looking for a cheaper version, and as I said, this is my at least 3rd year using them, and they're holding up great. You know, these on the other hand, these were cheaper. I do still like them, but I don't know if you can see some of these are crinkling up, not holding their shape real well. But again, 3rd year using them, and they were like cheapies. So anyway, it just goes to show you don't always have to get the more expensive stuff. So anyway, I'm going to start planting some seeds. And I have these little labels. I had to find some shorter ones because if I do use many of you seen, like last year I used like the plastic knives from when you buy plastic throwaway silverware. The knives are the ones that never get used, and they work great as for labeling plants, but they're too tall if I do decide to put the lids on these. So I had to get some short ones, and overall I really kind of like these. They're more bendable and stuff, so they don't break as easy as some of the plastics once they get weathered a little bit. But anyway, I am going to start with some cabbage. I have a couple of different kinds, I think. Well, I just have 2 kinds. So I have cabbage, golden acre. I hope that wind is not too much in the mic. Cabbage, Savoy Perfection. All right, so that's those 2. Those I'm going to be doing in the smaller ones. And one of the things that I do, I was telling you that I don't press down on the soil. That's because I will usually do this, just to push them down a little bit. And I put my seeds in on top and then just sprinkle a little bit of my soil on top of that. So it just makes it a little easier. Let's see, what's the packaging? These were packaged for 2023. So they're a couple years old. But I'm still only going to put like 2 seeds in each one. Boy, these are tiny. All right, this was the container that I had the fertilizer in. I'm going to go ahead and put the lids on here until I take them into the greenhouse just because of the wind. All right, so that's my 2 kinds of cabbage. Let's see, I'm going to set that one aside for the moment. All right, so this one, 1, 2, 3. All right, I have 3 different packages of Swiss chard. All right, so we have chard, rainbow blend. Then this one is Swiss chard, rhubarb. And this one is chard. This one says mixed colors. I'm aware it's pretty much the same thing as the rainbow chard, but I'm wording them the way they are on the package because they're coming out of 2 different packages, so I want to know which ones did well. All right, so these have 8 rows this way. So I'm going to do basically 6 of the colors. So it'll be 3 of one kind and 3 of another. And then I'm going to do 2 rows of the rhubarb. And one of the things that I try and do is, like in this case, I'm putting 2 seeds in each one. And I try to put them like on opposing corners. That way, if both of them take and I want to separate them, it'd be much easier to do. And again, I'm going to go ahead and put the lids on these just because of the wind right now. Oh, I suppose I should put my soil on top. Getting a little ahead of myself. Now for us, the thing with the leafy greens all the lettuces, the chards, the spinach, kale, mustard greens, collard greens, all of that kind of stuff. We don't personally eat a whole lot of that stuff, but the sulcata tortoises, that is like the staple of their diet. So we're trying to grow enough to help sustain their food. So that is why you will see me doing so many different types of greens. Oh, this is going to be fun in this wind. Wow. All right, so this one is lettuce Grand Rapids. And this one is lettuce gourmet mix. And for these, it's a whole lot harder to control how much you're putting in each cell. So I'm just doing the best I can to just get a couple in each cell, but I know I'm getting like 5 or 6. But that's okay. They can be separated when I transplant. It is so nice out here right now. After all those days above 100, we're like low 90s and upper 80s for like 10 days straight. Might actually get some stuff done. I will water all these after I'm finished, but for now I'm just trying to get all the seeds in them. All right, so now we will have lettuce, Paris Island. This is another one of those. It's going to be 3, 2, and 2. Lettuce, butter crunch. And honestly, the 3 that are in this one are the 3 that are my favorite for eating. And this one is the black-seeded Simpson. And you'll see I just kind of put it on there like that. And these are only a few left, so I'm just sprinkling them in here knowing I'll have to separate them a little bit. It's okay. I have some labels on here from last year that oh well, I'm not really going to worry about it because I know that those labels are not right. All right, and this one is just going to have 2 different types of red romaine. All right, and this one is going to be collards and mustards. All right, so this one, spinach and kale are 2 of the things that the tortoises really shouldn't have too much of. So I'm not going to plant too much of that. So I'm just doing 1 kind of spinach, just the good old Bloomsdale. And I'm doing 2 kinds of kale, the dwarf blue curled and red Russian. And then I'm going to do a little bit of arugula because that is good for the tortoises. And again, these seeds are from 2023. I have a bunch of those I need to use up, all kinds of things. So I am putting 2 seeds in each one. I'm really not too worried about if several of them don't germinate, because again, this is not something I need a lot of. And these kale, of course, have tiny seeds, so I know there's a bunch in each one, but that's okay. Same thing with the arugula. These seeds are very small. All right, now that I have most of my greens covered, let's see. We have broccoli and cauliflower. All right, well, this first one's just going to be broccoli, cauliflower, and some cucumbers. All right, so we have cauliflower, self-blanch, cauliflower. This is another one of those things where I don't plant a whole lot because I'm the only one who eats it. This one's the snowball, broccoli, Waltham, broccoli, calabrese, and then we have cucumber, national pickling, and cucumber, market more. Now I plant the bulk of my cucumbers in the summer garden. This is the first time I'm trying them for my fall garden. They say that I can do that here because of my wonderful climate. Again, I'm in Central California, so we don't get a lot of hard freezes. We don't get some harsh weather of any kind, really. So I'm going to try my hand at doing these cucumbers in the fall, and we're going to see what happens. Now on the cucumbers, these are brand new seeds that I just bought. And so I'm only going to put 1 seed in each one. All right, now the fun part is what I have left is beans, but they're going in 2, 3, 4, like 6 locations because this is supposed to be my season of replenishing nitrogen into the soil. So I'm planting a lot of beans. All right, so I think I will do these 2 in here. And then I'll fill both of those for each of the other 2 kinds. All right, so this one is a French fillet, and this one is tenderette. And see, this is another one. The beans have a lot of seeds that are really outdated, so I'm planting a lot of them, but probably only half of them are going to germinate. All right, well, that means do 1 extra row of the French fillet because there wasn't enough seeds of the tenderette to fill this up. I'm going to kind of push those down in a little bit because they need to be covered just a little bit more than the lettuces and stuff like that do. some soil in these real fast, and then we will finish these up. All right, so on these, I'm just going to poke a little hole in the middle. This is all beans. All right, so this one is the Tender Green Improved. Make sure they're all down inside the hole. All right, and I don't have lids for these. That's okay. These seeds are heavier. And this one is the Burpee Stringless. Alright, and there's not enough of those, so I'm just going to fill it in with the rest of these Tender Green. I just need to use up all these seeds because they are so old. So this one is going to be mostly Burpee Stringless with a few other things. Just trying to fill it in. And I love doing this on this particular table because of the holes in it. All my excess mess can just fall through, and I can do that if I want to. All right, I'm going to put some of this stuff away so that it's not in the way. We're going to give these things a good water. All right, now we're going to start putting these in the greenhouse. Let's see. All right, let's see if we can give these things a head start. Especially since I'm like a month behind in where I wanted to be right now. This doesn't close up all the way because I need to get a new cover for it, but I really don't need to worry about the heat because we're plenty warm. This is more about the light once they start to germinate. So anyway, now I have everything started, and hopefully we'll be able to get them in the ground pretty soon. So if you enjoy this kind of content, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you'll know when I put out content like this. And I hope you enjoyed, and I hope I see you on the next one.